Guys, it's me. It's my boy Brian.
What's up?
And this right here is the MrMaple Show.
Welcome, everybody. We appreciate y'all being in, man. You guys are so consistent every week. We do Tuesday 10 at 10s, Thursday 10 at 10s. You guys always show up, man, coming in here, sharing the love in the chat, commenting, letting us know what you guys are looking forward to on the 10 at 10s. We love that, man. We're trying to bring plants that you guys are interested in. So let us know in the comments of some things that are on your list that we need to get out there. We're always searching the greenhouses for another set coming up. Today we got 10 of the 20 to highlight for you. This is the 10 at 10 for September 9th, 2025.
Yeah, man, we got some dope stuff, man.
Yeah, we do.
It's been a good week after open house,
Right.
man. So we're kind of recovering, you know, cleaning up the wounds, man, bandaging them up, and now we're back with a vengeance, man. We got some awesome sizes of Dragon's Fire.
Woo, man, we got 3-gallon sizes here of Acer Palmatum Dragon's Fire. I love this cultivar, man. I consider this to be in that like ornatum group of lace leaves. And what I mean by that is that it's got a really nice kind of burgundy, kind of mahogany color in the spring and the summer colors as well. But what really makes it stand out is that green bark. So the leaves really contrast nice against that green bark, unlike some of the other lace leaf cultivars.
Yeah, man, this anytime that there is something with the name Dragon, man, that kind of just like wakes up that little kid inside of me, man. And I'm just like, oh, I love dragons, you know, like that was me back in the day. And I mean, anytime that something gets the name Dragon in it in the maples, I mean, you know, it's going to be pretty awesome. They don't just kind of dole that out to any sort of cultivar. But this one, it evokes that with that flame during that springtime. The fall time is great too. But guys, this thing has been picking my eye up in that greenhouse because like what you're talking about, man, like that contrast between the bark and like that leaves. And dude, I was walking in the greenhouse the other day. I saw this big set of these. And dude, it almost like evoked like something like Manuno Sato like colors to me, man.
Yeah, it does.
And like that's like so cool to think about these trees that are just, you know, very drastically different. But you could throw them together and they're going to give you a similar vibe during that summertime, kind of as those colors. You know, I won't say it goes into a lull, but it's kind of just like changes and just kind of gives you something that is super nice during the summertime. Yeah,
the growth habit on this one's really interesting too. And it kind of plays into that Dragon's Fire name, just kind of this low cascading spreading habit that it has. It gets wider than it does tall. So you're looking at like maybe 3 foot tall in 10 years, but like 6 foot wide. So it gets nice spread to it. And man, when this thing lights up in the fall, dude, it's so crazy. Beautiful, like flaming orange colors with some yellow specks throughout. And then you have that bright green bark to just kind of highlight with it. I think this plant is super cool because it just plays off of so many colors and textures with that lace leaf and those amazing colors. And I mean, the name, they got it right? Dragon's Fire. This thing really, really puts on a show in the fall. I think that's kind of what gets you, you know, in that mindset of like what this thing can really do in your garden and landscape. So, you know, if you have some other lace leaves, this one would really contrast well because it has some different shades of reds and burgundies and even like almost like those purple tones, like you said, with like Manuno Sato kind of feeling to it. It's not variegated, but it has that kind of same color-esque to it.
Yeah, man, I'm just sitting here. I got distracted. Guys, I don't know if it's obvious. I probably got ADHD, man, you know. I'm just sitting here. I'm like, there's a blue dragon, you know, you got the Siriu, got the Dragon Master, man. You got like, you know, Dragon's Fire, Dragon Tears, bro. And all these are going to actually be decent pairings in the garden.
They really would be. Yeah, you're right, man. You could start collecting like the Dragon series and create some really dynamic contrasts just with it, all the different maples that we have named as Dragon, with Dragon in it. So really cool concept. 3 gallons, don't sleep on these guys. These are going to sell out quickly because great size. They're going to have a nice presence right away in your garden. Put these in a pot, put it up on the deck. I mean, there's so many different ways you can grow that. So make sure you get one of these today.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Next up, and we're kind of keeping this dragon thing going on today. We got a really cool tree. I think this one's like super unique, kind of sits in its own category, in my opinion. When I separated in my mind that way, we got Acer Seboldianum, Shiraya Nasume. Crazy, man. Kind of loosely translates to the dragon's claw. And this thing is wild, man. For a Seboldianum to have this leaf shape is super, super rare, super unique. And I really think that this cultivar is one that everybody should have in their collection. Like if you're going to have a Seboldianum and you want something really unique, this is the one.
Yeah, dude. I think like that Seboldianum I think about, bro. Whenever I think about this tree, guess where that is, bro?
Where's that?
In your backyard, bro. Brian has an awesome 10-gallon of this, and it's probably bigger than a 10-gallon at this point, man. I mean,
dude, it looks so sweet right now. You're absolutely right, man. I got a beautiful specimen of this, 10-gallon. It's probably getting close to like 8 to 9 feet or so right now. Looking just stellar in my garden. I love how it has like that dark kind of hunter green this time of the year. Like even the other greens, it just kind of stands out because it's got this really dark color to it. And then the texture is just off the charts, guys. And then here we are, September, fall's around the corner. And I got like, a 9-foot Shiraya Nasume. You talk about getting excited about seeing that thing light up with some blazing oranges and reds in the fall, bro. I'm excited, man.
Like if you want a tree that any maple nerd can kind of go into the garden and just be like, oh yeah, dude, like that's Shiraya Nasume. Obviously, like
right.
This is a great tree to maybe get your friends started on too. I mean, it has that name, that Japanese name, but then it kind of translates to that claw of the dragon, man. And then the fall color is amazing. It's gonna look distinct. I mean, you could be walking in the greenhouse, man, and you look down and you see that leaf shape.
You know what it is.
I mean, yeah, dude. They're like, this one kind of has some progeny too as well, which is really cool. Yeah, this one is just gonna go great with that dragon collection, man. I mean, that's pretty dope.
Some nice size 1 gallons on these two, so pick one up today.
Guys, got an awesome reticulated variety from Esveld Nursery, man, up in Holland. So give a holla. But this is Ariadne, guys. An awesome reticulated variety from Holland, man.
That's right. I mean, dude, this thing is really, really cool. It's one of my wife's favorite Japanese maples, especially the reticulated types. We have like, the Ghost series going on and all that. But outside of that, you still like are kind of on the hunt for some special things that are in that reticulated realm. I think Ariadne does it, man. It's got, what I like about it is sets itself apart is that serrated edge. Like it has a really nice sharp serrated edge all the way around that leaf. So the texture is just a little bit different than some of the other reticulated types. And it holds the reticulation really, really well.
Yeah, dude, I was just sitting here looking, and whenever I pulled these the other day, I was sitting there looking at this. It has a really nice rounded leaf. Like, I don't know, it does look so much more distinct. I think maybe, more like that ruffled kind of edge, like, because, sometimes those other Ghost series have a super sharp edge or margin on those leaves, and this one, this gives you some awesome color, kind of some of those pinks in that springtime with those blushes of like that light green color moving through. One of my favorite thing about reticulated varieties, though, dude, they love to be moved around, man.
Yeah.
And they win you over with that veining and the beauty of the texture of the leaf. But then you really start to move them around, and you can kind of dial in the exact color that you want, man.
Right.
And I think you showed me that, man, and like all of them kind of follow that rule of being able to be pushed to different colors based on like sun location and that sort of thing. Yeah,
I like that about reticulated types, and I think they kind of show the extreme of what you can do playing with your light and shade, because you're going to get just such a striking difference in like how prominent the color is or how prominent your veining is in that leaf. You can kind of play around with that. I mean, obviously the best case scenario with these is morning sun, afternoon shade. But if you kind of push it just a little bit or find a nice little sweet spot that can get a few extra hours in there, it really peaks up that color on it. And then the fall color in this thing is a bright, bright pink red. So, and I think sometimes we talk so much about the reticulation that we forget about the fall color. You know, a lot of people are like, oh man, well, you know, I have a lot of reticulateds already. You know, maybe I don't need that. But it's like, well, wait a minute. Do you have one that's got this nice serrated edge? Do you have one that has a beautiful pink red fall color? You know, so there's so many other attributes that we can talk about and hit on these. And I think Ariadne is definitely one that, for me as a collector, outside of like the Ghost series, you know, getting into reticulated types, I think this one's got to be on your list.
Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, to have a tree that's made its way across the globe, man.
Yeah.
That's a selling point in itself for some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this thing has its own merit. Cor Van Gelderen of Esveld Nursery. I mean, we have an awesome podcast with him. Kind of gives us a little bit of a deep dive on how he named it, you know, some of the ideas of hybridization and that sort of thing at his nursery. So go check that out. Ariadne, one you're not going to want to miss.
All right, guys, we got another cool maple for you here. I mean, we got a sweet lineup today. I hope you guys are enjoying this. We got Acer Palmatum Elizabeth.
Yeah, man. I mean, Elizabeth is an awesome tree. Anytime there's a tree named, you know, after somebody, and if you know somebody with that name, it's a perfect gift. Especially if Elizabeth might be mad at you, man, for,
right, yeah.
you know, purchasing too many maples. Say, babe, but this one's got your name on it,
right?
You know.
Yeah, you know, I always get a little jealous when, you know, I see, you know, people's names on things, because there's no Acer Palmatum Bryans out there yet. But you know, this one is special to me, and like you said, I think it's great if you know someone with that name, because you can give that as a gift. But this was a memorial tree for me. My mother's middle name was Elizabeth, and so it's a special tree to me. It always makes me think of my mom. I have a nice one of these at my house. Nice it was a 2-gallon when I got it, stretched out tall and staked. And so it's just like my mom, man, tall, skinny, and beautiful. So like it always brings a smile to my face. I love the fact that we can use these trees to symbolize things in our life. That's what's so much fun. And then you get to watch it grow and continue those memories of whoever it is that you planted it for, or maybe somebody that you gifted it to. So I really like that about Elizabeth. Man, striking colors on this too, man. The spring colors are super vibrant red.
Yeah, man. I'm like, this one's always got some interesting leaf shapes. Like, I feel like sometimes it has those kind of short and center nodes that we're used to on kind of those witch's brooms.
Right.
Dude, it'll push like some elongated Matson Murray style leaves as well.
Yeah.
That can be indicative of, you know, conditional settings, or sometimes it just pushes them
right.
based
that
on maturity.
Growth, yeah, summer growth can look a little different as well.
But dude, we were talking, and this is actually a Skeeter Rod introduction here, named after his wife.
Right.
So I don't know if he was in you know, the doghouse or nothing like that, but he named this tree after her. And like, that just makes me think, dude, like that Skeeter's broom plus that Elizabeth row. I mean, that's a match made in heaven right there. I'm sure there's some play between those two for sure.
Yeah, and you know it was a good day whenever, you know, he came home and he said, you know what, honey, I named a tree after you today, just for you, baby. I got a nice tree for you. We're gonna put it out in the garden somewhere. But yeah, I love the way these things grow as well. They're nice, tight, compact. I've noticed with Elizabeth too, it tends to have a little bit narrower shape overall. So a really interesting texture and growth habit for your garden. I would love to see one of these in containers. I think they would do really well in like a nice big pot set out by your patio. I've got a nice little gazebo in my garden. That'd be nice to have one kind of in a pot next to that. But so many ways to use this in your landscape. And then this thing lights up again in the fall. And here we are in September. I keep thinking about fall color because it's right around the corner, man. Our greenhouses are about to just explode with all kinds of crazy colors again. It's kind of that last big finale, you know, before everything goes quiet and dark for winter. But definitely one, if you're wanting to see like a nice finale for your garden, get you an Elizabeth, get it planted out there, and then watch it turn fall color. It's an amazing show.
Yeah, don't want to miss out on these. Good sizes on these too.
All right, guys, here we go. We got another cool maple for you here, and we're kind of on this like Esveld Nursery kick we got going on, right? We got another one from Esveld Nursery, Acer Shirasawanum Gloria. I love the sheer solemnum hybrids. There's a lot of them out there, and what I think is interesting about Gloria is it has a bigger, rounder leaf, I think, than some of the other hybrids. The other hybrids are more like a Matsumuri, very like elongated lobes, but this one has a more rounded habit on that leaf. Nice little serrated edges on it as well. Really nice, like dark red, burgundy colors this thing puts out, and for that being in the sheer solemnum world, definitely kind of lends into a unique presence in the garden, because you're typically seeing those bright golden greens and yellows in your sheer solemnum world, but Acer Sheer Solemnum Gloria really puts on a show with that unique texture and unique color.
Yeah, I mean, this one is going to go great with the other sheer solemnums. Throw that next to that Arium, man.
Yeah.
It's going to look good.
It's going to look
Throw
sweet.
That next to that Moonrise. It's going to look good, man. Throw it next to that Magic Moon. It's going to look good, man. Gloria, such an amazing tree. I love being able to tell the difference in like the actual just structure of the tree.
Right.
Like, palmatum kind of have that certain look to them. And maybe that's something you develop as you kind of become, more intertwined with the trees itself. But yeah, dude, sheer solemnum's going to have a lot more of a rigid looking structure. They're going to have, more split kind of bud terminals from each other, just kind of giving it like this regal appearance. And then whenever you have that kind of dark red, almost purplish color, it's going to have a presence in the garden, especially with such a strong name like Gloria.
Yeah.
And it's going to look great next to those Ariadnes, man. I mean,
oh yeah, for sure.
That's like these things, like there's a lot of probably subliminal thought that kind of, all these kind of trees that we named after each other kind of go together, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's really cool, man. I definitely think this is one that, if you're looking for like a hybrid sheer solemnum, there's a lot of them out there. But Gloria, I think, kind of fits a few of those little niches that you might be looking for, with that big leaf and bright, fiery red fall color on this as well. So, I mean, great seasonal interest on this. Love the leaf shape. And that kind of has more of a shrubby or bushy habit too, once it gets of good size. So if you think about just that structure overall and that bigger leaf, it really just is a thick, dense kind of tree. And then when it goes into that fall color, it really, really stands out for sure. Gloria. All right, guys. What we got next, Corbin?
From one named tree to another. To another. To another. Guys, we got Acer palmatum alarian.
Woo! Man, I love this tree. And, the story behind it is super cool, too. I always like a good story behind this. We're talking about a Talon Buckholz introduction right here, guys. So just that alone is should put this high on your list for sure. Because Talon, he don't mess around. When he puts a name on a tree, he's serious about it. Now, this one, the story behind this was he had an employee that was going around looking for seedlings. He kind of had a little program where people could go around, if they saw something cool, bring it to his attention. If he really thought it was something special, they could put a name on it. So, I mean, imagine walking around Buckholz and finding this seedling right here, this beautiful variegation on this thing with some pinks, some whites, kind of little candy striping on that bark as well. I mean, it's insane. I love the variegated maples because they really play into colors that are kind of outside of the norm when it comes to trees. I mean, you get some weird whites and pinks you normally don't see in nature.
Yeah, man, I love the story behind this because it really just shows if you put in the time, you put in the work, and you find an awesome tree, you work for Talon Buckholz, man, you might get an awesome tree named after you, man. This one's super dope. I just love the color on this. I just love whenever a tree, it just decides to put off a swath of just white.
Yeah.
And this tree is one of those magical ones, man. It's just the whole entire part can be completely white. The whole entire part can be half leaves that are all perfect split down the middle of that white and green. And I just love it too because it's my friend Jordan, very smart guy. It's cool because it's two different genetics that's going on. The actual cell of the variegated part is different than the cell of the green part. So it just kind of looks like you're kind of just and I know this might sound a little hippy dippy, man, just kind of taking a look into the plant itself and that sort of thing.
Yeah, you're literally like using X-ray vision to see inside of what's going on inside the plant. Yeah, that's what I mean. In variegation, I mean, it's so interesting to think about that being like a genetic mutation, and then in the horticulture world, you're trying to preserve that and recreate it and duplicate it over and over again so you can create these amazing cultivars. That's what we have here with Ilarion. And I think it's just so much fun because, like I said in the beginning, I mean, the color spectrum is just so outside of the norm, and you can play around with it too, like with your shade and sun. You can really pick those colors up. The new flushes really intensify as well. They go these bright whites and bright pinks. And then your fall color on this, I love when variegated plants go to fall color because you get a mix of colors on that. You get some like lighter pinks against the reds. I mean, it's just an intense fall time color on this tree, and some great size 1 gallons on these as well, guys. So definitely want to pick one of these up today.
For sure. All right,
here we go. All right, guys, we got another cool tree for you here. We got Acer palmatum arakawa.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite maples, one of my favorite categories of maple. This is a cork bark maple, that pine bark maple. Super, super amazing rough bark. It's so cool. It's like a little palate cleanser, man. You know, you get so used to seeing the same sorts of bark on all like these maple trees that are from, you know, the Asian area, I guess. And this one is just super dope because it gives you some pine bark. People that do bonsai, they love this because it gives you like that extra ornamental appeal. And I'll say, if you already have a lot of maples, put one of these out. I think we saw another variety of pine bark called Nishigawa, and that's at Maple Walk. And I'm using this as an example. I know they're not the same tree, but in that garden, you walk around and around, and like you see all these maple trees. They're beautiful, and they're beautiful in fall color. But then he's just got his giant pine bark. It makes this beautiful spreading habit, which you know, Arakawa also has. But then it's like almost like the earth is shooting up from the ground, man, and it just has like such nice contrast with those earthy brown tones mixed with the amazing fall color that these varieties of maple get with those oranges and reds.
Yeah, man, I love the rough bark types. It's really another category of winter bark interest maples. So you think of the Sangokakus and the coral barks, Bihu, all of those, and they get so much attention, so much love because they have that winter interest with the bark. Well, this gives you that as well, but just a whole different style, man. You got these weird little knobs, little rough areas that start to form on that bark as it gets older, and it just creates a unique texture, especially when it's out of leaf. I mean, we have a huge one of these up by the office, and it just looks so amazing to see that rough cork bark just all over that trunk, up through the branches. And it's going into fall color right now, too. It looks so freaking nice. And I just think, you know, for me personally as a collector, and I know this is going to sound crazy, but I have never grown a pine bark interest tree before. So I need to get something like this in my collection. And we got some nice Arakawas here today. Some beautiful 1 gallons.
Dude, that means I beat you to getting a tree, bro.
I'm telling you. Well, you know, Matt and Tim always say, man, if we didn't sell a tree to Brian, we ain't doing it right. So, I mean, I'm sitting here eyeballing this thing like, I need to pick one of these up, get one of these in my garden, maybe do bonsai. You know me, I'm into bonsai, so I could do a nice little rough bark bonsai with one of these. But that's the great thing about this plant. You can do it in so many different ways. Container, bonsai, just garden landscape. They do great in any of those settings, and they're always going to put on a show. And that bark interest is next level, dude.
Dude, we've had such a good selection of maples, a very diverse section, or, you know, group of maples. It just kind of shows you the beauty of them, man. I mean, like, obviously they have their actual beauty that we can like see with our own eyes, but the beauty of it is just the diversity. You know, that's why we get drawn to collecting. You know, it's like no single one is the same, man. And I just think it's so awesome. It's like, you got a maple for every day of the week, man, every day of the year almost, man, or every day of the year for 3 years, 4 years, you know, and it's just so cool because, like, some mutation happen where this thing pretty much just gets like a dandruff on its,
Right.
you know, the bark, and it holds on to those cells, and it's so cool, man. And this is one that you're going to want in your garden. Amazing variety of maple.
Pick up Arakawa today.
All right, guys. Now, this one isn't named after somebody, but I mean, that's kind of like a possession of somebody, and in a way it is named after him. We got Conifers Lawsonia Philippe's Tearful.
Ooh, man, I love this thing. We're just sitting over here just like feeling on this thing. It's got a great feel to it, great texture. Now, the habit on this one is really nice, man. This thing is going to get nice and tall and kind of have a narrow habit, and then that weeping kind of cascading effect. And with that evergreen appearance in your garden, I mean, this thing is really going to create a dynamic presence. I've been getting into that world of like trying to think of different conifers with different textures that create unique shapes in my garden, because I like playing off of that. And a lot of these conifers, they just create these crazy, weird looking shapes. And especially like these weeping, like slender ones. And I mean, they just create these little towers, you know what I mean? They send up these pendulous like towers, and they just weep down from there. It's crazy. I love the texture on this thing.
Yeah, man. This one really reminds me of some of those Chamaecyparis nucatensis, those Alaskan weeping cedars. The shape is very similar. The height's also going to be pretty similar with these guys.
Yeah.
But like Brian was talking about with the shape in the garden, dude, like these, there are certain trees that I personify in my head in the garden. They have a lot of personality. The sort of structure that this one provides really kind of embodies that. I feel like it's kind of like an old man, like in the garden, you know, like bent over back, kind of like, and it just kind of weeps there. Or maybe like even like kind of like a Count Dracula type deal, man, you know, just kind of lurking in the background, pondering. And I think it's nice, man, just because like vertical interest is so important in the garden, you know. It's like as we learn, like I think in Japan I talked to Nakata-san about like a borrowed view. And, you know, that just kind of means like you work the nature of that's all around you, whether that be, I mean, you got to work with what you got.
You try to incorporate that into your setting.
Exactly. And having something that spires into the sky, I mean, it's going to lead your eye all the way up into the sky, where there's going to be this play between that light blue or those white clouds with that kind of dark green, dark blue-ish color of this conifer. And I think that's important, man. You know, you got to have those things that incorporate it, because we're not in, like, you know, sometimes we like to think we can control everything in the garden, man. But we're not in a bubble, man. You know, you got to just play with everything that's around us, man, because that's what gardening is all about. Yeah,
I think it provides such a great evergreen appearance in your garden as well, so giving you some great seasonal interest. I was sitting here thinking about some pairings, you know, putting like a Sangokaku next to this. One of the coral bark varieties I think would really pop, especially that bark color and then that bright yellow in the fall. I think these two playing off each other would look absolutely amazing. So definitely one you want to add to your garden. If you need a vertical interest in your garden space, pick one of these up.
It's time to get vertical.
All right, guys, we got another killer Japanese maples. I mean, like every week I'm like, how are we going to top the last 10 at 10? And then we pull them out, and it's like, okay, all right. I mean, we were always bringing the heat, guys. We got Acer, Palmatum, Purple Curl.
Man, this was probably my first collector plant. And I think this is a good one to kind of, you know, dip the toe into that world of the collector plants,
definitely
man.
A collector plant, man. I mean, we've always kind of categorized it here at Mr. Maple as one of those weirdos, one of those maple weirdos. We were talking about it earlier today. You were like, man, my purple curl looks weird right now. I'm like, dude, it looks weird all the time, man. Like this plant is so crazy. It just has this weird like malting variegation throughout. The leaf shape too is kind of weird. It's like, it almost curls down. And then I've even seen some where the curl will flip upwards and go the other way instead of curl down. So it's like, you have like so many different things going on with this plant. And I think, you know, this is a Buchholz introduction. So, you know, another one of those like maple weirdos that I think, you know, I just imagine in my mind when you find that seedling, you're like, whoa, what the heck is going on here, man?
Yeah, it's really cool. This is one you're not gonna want to give as a gift. I'll be honest. Man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I love my grandma. Bro, this one's for me, man.
Yeah.
This one's for me. This ain't for you, grandma. So, you know, this one is one you're gonna think you might need to give it a little bit extra water. Say, hold up on that, man. This thing, it's just like any other maple, man. It needs water when it needs it, man. And don't overwater this one because whenever we get those kind of curled, crinkled leaves, sometimes we can be like, oh, well.
Something going on
Exactly.
with this. Yeah.
This thing just does that, man.
It does, man. And it gets kind of weirder too, and even later in the season, because as that leaf gets a little bit ragged from the summer, right, it kind of breaks up and splits apart a little bit where that variegation is at. And so that leaf is kind of like disjointed and separated, and it just looks so weird. And I think with Purple Curl, I mean, I've seen some good sizes of these as well, dude. They have such a striking presence in the garden. I think it does have a little bit of that like Shirasawanum hybrid side to it. Very reminiscent of kind of in that vein with like Magic Moon. I think those two together would be a cool pairing. Magic
Bloody
Moon,
Talon type
Purple
deal
Curl,
too,
and
man.
maybe a Bloody Talons in the middle of those. They all have that malting weird variegation to it. So, I mean, guys, I know these are going to sell out really, really quick. Very popular cultivar, especially amongst collectors who kind of understand, you know, just the unique display of variegation that this one has, unlike anything else out there.
Dude, and like we call it Purple Curl, dude. I just posted a video on my YouTube channel. You know, just look up my name. You'll find it there. You can see my Purple Curl. I got it in maybe like a 3-gallon pot. I've had it for 2.5 years probably. And dude, you start putting this thing in the sun, it starts getting some like funky yellow, orangey, like rusty colors. Yeah. And it's super dope because like I feel like you rarely kind of get that out of a plant. So it's super cool. You play with that sunlight and you can get some really interesting looking colors out of this thing.
Purple Curl. All right, guys, we got a really nice tree here to wrap up this 10 at 10 for you guys. We got a Ginkgo biloba. Bag on.
Bag on, man. Blag on, man. This one's very amazing. Guys, I'm going to throw a MrMaple throwback. At least for me, it's a throwback because it was one of the, you know, first couple of videos I ever worked on. But it is Ginkgo Alley in Japan. Matt and Tim visited that place in Japan. Couple 100-year-old ginkgos just chilling there. And I think this would go pretty good if you're trying to recreate that in your garden.
Yeah, this one's going to be a little bit smaller than your typical like huge ginkgo. Some of those ginkgos can really, really get out there, especially on the spread. This is going to have a nice narrow habit. So maybe you wanted a little wall of ginkgo. I could see like lining a row of these up. And then when they go into that fall color, that bright school bus yellow fall color, I just think it would be sweet to see a row of these lined up in your garden somewhere.
Yeah, dude. That's why I'm like, maybe you put this next to that Philippe. So you kind of do Philippe Blagon, Philippe Blagon. Man, that's kind of hard to say. But you put those together, dude, fall time, they're going to look crazy. They're going to give you kind of a similar shape, different textures. And then whenever fall comes, man, you're getting those kind of deepest blues, deepest kind of greens out of that Philippe's. And this thing just starts putting on that show of yellow.
Yeah, man.
Oh, dude, that's going to be dope.
Yeah, I think it's always great to think about adding a ginkgo to the garden. I mean, there's nothing else out there like this. Like you said before, man, I think so many trees in my mind stand out when they're like unmistakably what they are, you know, and ginkgo, like you see a ginkgo, if you're familiar with plants, you're like, yeah, that's a ginkgo. And it's very, very typical leaf shape that you see on a ginkgo, and a tree that's been around forever, man. We're talking about a prehistoric tree here. I love just that kind of stoic presence that it gives in the garden, especially these having that nice slender habit. Just these tall pillars of ginkgo leaves. Just a really nice texture you can add to your garden for sure.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's 10.
10
of the 20 trees for the 10 at 10 on 9/9.
That's right. That's right. So maybe you got a family member that's named, Gloria or Elizabeth
or Blagon.
Or Blagon. But anyway, we hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Me and Corbin had to get out here, chop it up. We love getting out and talking about plants with you guys. I mean, that's what we live for, man. We were riding over, we're like, look at us, bro. Kings, man. Kings of the maple world, living in our domain and our realm with trees surrounding us every day. I absolutely love it, man. Working at MrMaple is like one of the biggest kind of dream come true in my life personally. And to be able to get on here and hang out with you guys and just like go through the greenhouse is like, all right, what awesome plants can we come up with this week to get them out there in your gardens? It gets me excited. And I take a lot of pride, and I'm very passionate about it. So appreciate you guys tuning in.
Yeah, man. Take care.
God bless.
Have a great day.